Yeah. Bless his head, bless his head, bless his head. Yeah. See, I've been going through some things you don't know. Been holding too long, I can't hold it no more. The old man wants to kill me, but he don't know that I've been dying daily, so he gon' fall. Even if I do fall, I don't stay too long. I may go fast to pray and add on one thing. 2 chapters every day, Genesis to Revelation, gonna read, hold your pace. I can say things written in the past was for today. Oh, when I be all up in them scripts, you know, them demons can't get in addition, no. Revelation 1 and 3, no. Blessed is he I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he. I've been reading to learn, you know, how the devil use those that don't know themselves. Or how the Most High God knows those that will be the pure gold, standing in the end. Oh, how we will rise if we die in the ride. The day that's in Christ will meet us in the sky. Gotta read from 9 to 5, the devil hide in the grass like a rolling line. Hold that, James 1:25. Don't forget when I read and gotta hold inside. Whoa. When I be all up in them scripts, you know, them demons can't get in addition, no. Revelation 1 and 3, no. Yeah. Blessed is he I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he.
Hit the gym cause the world on my shoulders. Blessed is he that endure till it's over. Focus up cause the end getting closer. Getting warm cause the world getting colder. Bend the knee, face the east like he told you. Tighten up cause the devil getting bolder. Endure all hardness like a soldier. Cause he finna bring the heat like a toaster. Blessed is he that's gon' read. Blessed is he that believe. Blessed with the fowls of the air and the bees. Blessed with the lands and the sea. Blessed with the heathen that feed. Blessed with no trembling need. Blessed is we all in me. Blessed with the mansions you can't even see. Blessed who enduring the heat. Blessed who is bearing his cross in these streets. Seek and read, man, and you'll find we the poor spirit. Ain't no buying time. With the Lord light, I'm no longer blind. Now I'm sauced up like a wine time. Many fall when they gonna climb. Cause the tree got shooken like some pom-pom. So you gotta blast when it's go time. Or get Jimmy by
Blessed
try
is he
bomb.
I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he. Blessed is he that reads everything he sees. Get eternal life.
Live eternally.
Look, on fire like 2nd Peter. Now I got my sword, so I'm cutting up deceivers. Right there, bare arms, so I always got a reader. You wanna live the truth, then I see you when I see you. See the world still sleep, so I gotta wake 'em up until my soul on E. Preach the gospel in your city, then dust off my feet. And you know we in your city, cause we come through deep. The mouth deep, so you know we never shook. All gifts of God, see we living by the book. Spit fire to the wood with salt, I gotta cook. The Lord made me efficient, every day I'm writing hooks. I'm on, kingdom come, we bringing fire till we gone. Prophesy against nations, show my people what they wrong. You dwelling in your sin, then you can't be living long. Where you gon' hide when the Lord drop them bombs? Come on.
C'est la vie. How our brothers, yeah, they dying in the street, cause they heart is filled with beef, cause they wanna rep a game, they just wanna tote the heat, but they do not understand that our people family like, but there's more, that the image of the Lord, that these sisters don't adore, they just bitter to the core. Katy Perry told them roar, got you kicked up out the garden and they screaming at the voice even more like what? Shame that the pattern is the same. Super heavy ball and chain. I just wanna be delivered and it's weighing on my brain. Sweet and bitter little book that my body must contain in this frame. Like feed me more, cause I wanna go to war. Swing a heavy metal sword. We'll be dicing all the doctrines he saw putting on the board. Then I'm out to go and party with an excellent reward. And I'm yelling out, set, get, P. Watch the elements delete. Esau burning on his feet. All the women indiscreet. Don't be mad, I'm rude in speech. I'm just trying to mold the soul to be gold and be king.
It's too late, a tick-tock away from doomsday. No goose chase, nail rear-handed, back against the wall, call them screw face. We on a home run, they in space, trying to touch base. Blow up the place and we out of here. Catastrophic, like LeBron up and left the Cavaliers. Astronomic, how the flame wheels just disappear. Trending topic, my oppressor's biggest fear, knowing vengeance coming near. The cake bake, indignation on the menu. From dead bones to a spirit trapped in sinews. Action, won't hear me saying what I'm fin to. Burn with Babylon, if the truth offend you. Never taste well when taking medicine. Treasure it. With God laws, we are better than apparently. As in the days of Noah, wicked gon' be meddling. Schedule it. Bombs dropped, it was heaven sent. Heaven sent. Heaven sent. Meddling, schedule it, bombs dropped, it was heaven sent. Heaven sent, heaven sent.
Friends are known in adversity. Is that true? Is that you? Are you with me? Are you with me? If things ain't going okay. Friends are known in adversity. Is that true? Is that you? Are you with me? Are you with me? If things ain't going okay. Friends that have you waiting, leave you hanging on the phone line. Yeah. Tell them that you need them, then they pull up on their own time. On time, yeah. Some of them be plotting while they hating, they don't know why. Know why, yeah. Probably cause they see you coming up, oh yeah, that seems right. Seems right, yeah. We're giving you rest.
Shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ bless. Can y'all hear me? Let me know how the sound is. Give me some feedback real quick. Try to check it on my end. Let me know. Let me know. All right. All praise. Sheesh. All right. Got a few responses. Darren, Susanna. Yeah. Joseph. All right. Appreciate y'all. All praises. All right, well, welcome back, Israel, to another edition of Giving the Sense from A to Z. I'm your host for today, Captain Josiah, out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And we're going to jump right in. So I'm going to start out with the first scripture. Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 8 says, So they read in the book of the law of God distinctly and gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading. All right. That's what the series of Giving the Sense is about. Going through the scriptures, precept upon precept, giving our people the sense of the Bible so we can understand what we must do, not only our history, but what we must do to get out of this captivity and get the kingdom of the Most High, all right, through his son, Jesus the Christ. So today's topic is going to be Luke chapter 7, and I'm reading for myself, so it is what it is. We're going to get it in. Luke chapter 7, we'll start at verse 1, all right? Now, when he had ended all his sayings, this is Christ. Matter of fact, I will say this, if y'all didn't check out Captain Emmanuel's class from yesterday, make sure y'all go check that one out. And all the captain's classes, okay, this series in Luke. We just finished Revelation not too long ago. We're going through the book of Luke. And by the way, we're going to have a playlist on YouTube. So y'all be able to go to the playlist and just run through the series. Y'all can literally go through the whole book. As we finish it, you can go through the playlist with us. All right. But anyway, Luke chapter 7, verse 1. Now, when he had ended all his sayings in the audience of the people, he came into Capernaum or Capernaum. All right. And I want to go to Luke chapter 4, a couple books back. I'm going to show y'all something with this. Luke chapter 4. Before I get this, let me show y'all. I'm going to show y'all this map real quick. He came to Capernaum. I'm going to pull this map up, and I'll probably read the scripture. I'm going to leave this map up. All right. I'm going to go to Luke chapter 4, and I'm going to read verse 20. Let me see here. See what I want. 28 through 31. And all they in the synagogue, when they heard these things, were filled with wrath, and rose up and thrust him out of the city, and led him into the brow of the hill wherein the city was built, that they might cast him down headlong. But he, passing through the midst of his way, and came down to Capernaum, a city of Galilee, and taught them on the Sabbath days. Okay, so when they kicked him out of the city, he came to Capernaum. All right, now I'm going to jump to Matthew chapter 4. That was Luke chapter 4. We're going to go to Matthew 4. Watch this. Matthew 4, and I'm going to start at 13. And leaving Nazareth, all right, that's what we just read about. They thrust him out of the city. And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the seacoast in the borders of Zebulun and Naphtali. So now y'all see, it says he came to Capernaum, which is upon the seacoast. What seacoast? It's on the screen. All right, the Sea of Galilee, and y'all see Capernaum right there. All right, now I got another map. Let me find this other one. Give me 1 second. Right, check this one out here. Okay, so y'all see Naphtali there. You see Zebulun and the Sea of Galilee right there. If you look right below Naphtali, you see Capernaum there. Okay, so I'll read this again. And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the seacoast in the borders of Zebulun and Naphtali, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali by the way of the sea beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. All right. So this was prophesied by Isaiah that Christ would go and teach the quote unquote Gentiles, the northern kingdom of Israel, our scattered brothers and sisters. All right. So that's what we're beginning to read about here in Luke chapter 7, why he came to Capernaum. All right. So now let me get back on screen here. All right. Luke chapter 7, verse 1 again. Now, when he had ended all his sayings in the audience of the people, he entered into Capernaum. And a certain centurion's servant who was dear unto him was sick and ready to die. A centurion is a army general that has 100 men, like the word century, all right, 100 years. A centurion, this particular person is over 100 soldiers. And we can go to a precept we can use is in Acts chapter 23, verse 23. 23. And he called unto him 2 centurions, saying, make ready 200 soldiers to go to Caesarea, and horsemen 70, and spearmen 200, and at the 3rd hour of the night. So you see that. And he called unto him 2 centurions, make ready 200 soldiers. Okay, so a centurion is pretty much over 100 men. It's just like today in IUIC, you're an officer of 10. You have, or could be responsible for 10 men. Officer 20, okay, captain of 100, same thing. Now, the reason why we pulled in verse 1, why we wanted to highlight that Capernaum is on the seacoast of Zebulun and Naphtali, because we're proving Christ taught his own people. As a matter of fact, I'll just read it real quick. Matthew 15. When you look this particular chapter up, it'll say something about Gentiles, like Christ dealing with the Gentiles. Well, yeah, in Capernaum, which is the land of Zebulun and Naphtali on the seacoast. Matthew 15:24. Just backtracking a little bit. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay, so he ain't sent to any other nation but the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Back to Luke chapter 7, verse 2 again. And a certain centurion's servant who was dear unto him was sick and ready to die. And when he had heard of Jesus, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews, beseeching him that he would come and heal his servant. And when they came to Jesus, they besought him instantly, saying that he was worthy of whom he should do this. So they like, yo, this centurion, this brother right here, Christ, this dude is worthy. Okay. He's a mighty man, honorable, respectful, and whatnot. He's respected. Okay. Verse 5, for he loveth our nation. That's the key. Listen to that. For he loveth our nation. They're talking to Christ. It's telling you right here, read verse 3 again. And when he had heard of Jesus, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews. So now the elders of the Jews are going to Christ. And in verse 5, for he loveth our nation. And he had and he had built us a synagogue. You see that? So this brother was an Israelite. All right. This centurion was an Israelite. It's the same thing with, matter of fact, we'll go to Acts chapter 10 real quick. Acts 10, we'll start at 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man and one that feared God with all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to God always. He saw in a vision evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of God coming into him and saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he had looked on him, he was afraid and said, what is it, Lord? And he said unto him, thy prayers and thine alms are come up for a memorial before God. Okay. Your prayers and your memorial, God has seen it and honored it. Okay. Now, this can only happen if you're a commandment keeping Israelite. How do we know that? John chapter 9, verse 31. John chapter 9, verse 31. Now we know that God heareth not sinners. See that? Now we know that God heareth not sinners. But if any man be a worshiper of God and doeth his will, him he heareth. So the Lord only hears or honors commandment keeping Israelites. That's it. So Cornelius was a centurion of the Italian band. All right, we read that again in verse 1, Acts 10:1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band. All right, so he was a commandment keeping Israelite in Italy. All right, now back to Luke 7 and verse 5 again. So it was the same thing like with this brother here, doesn't give his name, but the same thing with Cornelius. All right, his prayers and his alms came up for memorial. This brother here, they was like, yo, he loved our nation and he built us a synagogue. So obviously he was putting in his brick, very much alms deeds. It costs a lot of money, you understand, to build a synagogue, a sanctuary and whatnot. As a matter of fact, let's go to 1 Timothy, because obviously this brother had some sort of wealth, and we're going to read as we continue to go down. He definitely had status, obviously being a centurion. He had men that he was over, commanding and whatnot. 1 Timothy 6, because it said he had built us a synagogue. Watch this. 1 Timothy 6 and verse 17. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches. So, brothers and sisters, you all that are watching online, or you may be in the congregation, you may have accumulated a decent amount of wealth before you came into the truth, or you're doing it while you're in the truth. All right. It says, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. Watch this. That they do good, that they be rich in good works. See that? That you must be rich in good works. Okay? If you can afford to give, a lot of money to the Booster Club, do so. It's much work to be. Matter of fact, right here, you can scan this QR code right here. All right, I'm gonna read the scripture again since we got the QR code there. It says, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. That they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute. You see that? Ready to distribute, just like the centurion in Luke chapter 7, just like Cornelius in Acts chapter 10. Ready to distribute. Okay, help us do this work. Much work to be done. Okay, you may not be able to be out on the forefront. You may have a certain particular status in this world, and it's not in your best interest to have your face on the screen or be on the front line, as they say. Help us. Okay, we'll do it. Verse 18 again. That they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate. Hey, what do y'all need? What can I help y'all with? What's lacking? I'm ready to distribute. What else is needed? So let's go back. I'll start at 3 again. And Luke chapter 7, verse 3, and when he had heard of Jesus, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews, beseeching him that he would come and heal his servant. And when they came to Jesus, they besought him instantly, saying that he was worthy for whom he should do this. For he loveth our nation, and he hath built us a synagogue. So obviously this brother had a good name, which is what we want to accumulate in this truth. Every last one of us. Okay. A good name. I want to get a couple scriptures on that while we're on that point. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 1 says, a good name is better than precious ointment. See that? A good name is better than precious ointment. All right. And the day of death than the day of one's birth. But the main point we wanted was, first part, a good name is better than precious ointment. Let's go to Sirach chapter 41, verse 12. Sirach chapter 41, verse 12 says, have regard to thy name, for that shall continue with thee above 1,000 great treasures of gold. See that? Have regard to thy name. Be mindful of your actions, because all of your actions are attached to your name. Have regard to thy name, for that shall continue with thee above 1,000 great treasures of gold. Right? When it says have regard to thy name, it's not, okay, they call you Josiah or Sarah or, Chuck or Billy, whatever the case. It's talking about your actions, the things that you do in the congregation. That's what it's talking about. Okay? Have regard to thy name, for that shall continue with thee above 1,000 great treasures of gold. Now, let's go back to Luke chapter 7, verse 5 again. All right. This particular brother, his name preceded him. He's like, yo, he loved our people. He built a synagogue. He's worthy. He's honorable. If you can help him, if you can help anybody, that's the guy, Christ, that you need to help right there. Okay. If we all make a mistake and fall and whatnot, or we need some assistance, everybody should have this same report about every one of us. Like, that's a good brother. That's a good sister. We need to help them. Okay. If we can do anything to help, let's do it. All right. Verse 5 again. For he loveth our nation, and he had built us a synagogue. Then Jesus went with them. And when, you know what I want to get? I just thought of something else. Revelation 14. Bear with me. Revelation 14, verse 12. I'll start at. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors. This is the part I wanted. And their works do follow them. Okay, their works do follow them. What works? From verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. First and foremost, if we're sincere commandment keepers in the faith of his son, our works are going to follow. Alms, deeds, works in the body, how you treat brothers and sisters, all of that's going to follow with this right here. It's just like Matthew 18. People can say, yeah, I love my neighbor as myself, but when there's conflict, how do you handle it? Can you humble yourself down to the brother saying, or the sister saying, yeah, you offended me? Okay. Or you stuck up, high-minded, and like, nah, I ain't do that. I don't care how you think, whatever the case. Okay. But we all have to be mindful, again, of our name. Okay. And it says in verse 13 again, says, their works do follow them. Okay. So again, help us do this work. Luke chapter 7 again, going back to verse 6. Then Jesus went with them, and when he was now not far from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying unto him, Lord, trouble not thyself, for I am not worthy that thou shouldest enter under my roof. He like, Christ, brothers, tell him, listen, that mighty man Christ, I'm not even worthy for him to step foot under my roof. Now think about all the stuff that they've already said about him already. Number one, he's a centurion, high-ranking man. He has status in the world. Okay, obviously he has some sort of wealth. He helped them build a synagogue and whatnot. He had a good name. Everybody's like, yo, this is the guy we need to help. Okay, but he says to Christ, I'm not even worthy for you to step foot in my house. Okay, So what did he have? The spirit of humility. Okay, another attribute that we can take from this brother and apply it to ourselves. Okay, I'll read that again. Then Jesus went with them, and when he was not far from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying unto him, Lord, trouble not thyself, for I am not worthy that thou shouldest enter under my roof. Wherefore neither thought I myself worthy to come unto thee. So he's like, listen, I'm not worthy for you to enter under my roof, and I didn't even think I was honorable enough to even come to you, to even step to you, Christ, and ask you for help. That's why he said earlier, he sent the elders of the Jews, okay? But say a word, this is verse 7, wherefore neither thought I myself worthy to come into thee, but say in a word, and my servant shall be healed. I want to get something on that humility real quick. First Peter. Make sure we still good. Yeah. First Peter. What I want. Oh, First Peter 5. First Peter chapter 5. Let me start at, I'm going to just jump to verse 5 just to get to the point. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For God resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble. So now when it says, likewise, ye younger, be subject, you younger, submit yourselves unto the elder, it's not primarily talking about physical age. This is spiritually here. Okay. Spiritually, you're younger. Physically, you may be older. A lot of brothers and sisters have trouble with this sometimes, where you come in and you may be, 50 years old, and, you have an officer of 10 that may be 30 years old. You're like, well, what can he teach me? A lot. Okay. Because you just got here 6 months ago and he been here 10 years or whatever, or 5, whatever the case. There's something that brother, and likewise the sister, okay, big sisters, can teach y'all. Likewise, ye younger, be subject. I said it again. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another. So now that goes back to what I mentioned earlier about, somebody come. That's like a Matthew 18, be subject one to another. Hey, the brother came to you, the sister came to you, said, hey, what you did, that bothered me. Okay, brother, you be subject. Humble yourself. Like this says, be clothed with humility. All right, I'm going to read this again. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another. Okay. As a congregation, we have to be subject one to another. You may be over the IT office as a officer of 10. No, you may be over the IT office. Yeah, I'll say that, as an officer of 10. And the security lead is an officer of 20. The 20 can be subject to the 10 because that's his particular office. Okay. It don't mean because you were 20 and he's a 10 over IT and you're over security that you get to go in there and try to run his office. No, the Most High put him in that position. So he says, hey, I need such and such for IT. You don't say, nah, I'm a 20. I don't listen to you. That's not how this works. All right. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility, for God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. All right. So we all got to be mindful of that. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 33. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. Before honor is humility. So a lot of times, brothers want a position of honor, but before you can attain that, you have to have humility. You have to what? Do what it says here in 1 Peter 5. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. All right. Before you get that honorable position, before you become a lead in this particular office or that particular office, you have to submit to those that came before you. All right. Honor goeth, but what did it say again? Proverbs. I didn't flip off from it. Proverbs 15:33. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. All right. Let's go back to Luke chapter 7. Luke chapter 7 and verse 7 again. Wherefore neither thought I myself worthy to come unto thee, but say in a word, and my servant shall be healed. For I also am a man set under authority, having under me soldiers, and I say unto one, go, and he goeth, and to another, come, and he cometh, and to my servant, do this, and he doeth it. So he like, I got particular status, I'm a mover, I'm a shaker. I tell people to move and they move. Go, come, do this, do that, and they make it happen. Okay? He has status. But he told Christ, I'm not even worthy for you to step foot under my roof. Okay? That's humility right there. Verse 9. And when Jesus heard these things, he marveled at him and turned him about and said unto the people that followed him. So he's like, he had to turn around like, yo, you hear this? Turn him about and said unto the people that followed him, I say unto you, I have not found so great a faith, no, not in Israel. She's like, this brother's faith is on another level. He has the authority to command 100 men, do something, whatever he say, they're going to do it. But he says to me, I'm not even worthy for you to step foot in my house. Neither I didn't want to come to you either. Just say the word. Just say the word, Christ. Okay, so Christ said, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. A dumb Christian will try to use this to say he was not an Israelite. He was a Gentile, quote unquote. I ain't found nobody in Israel with this faith, like this Gentile, like this heathen. He was an Israelite. We've already proved that. Capernaum is in the seacoast, the Sea of Galilee, of the tribe of Zebulun and Naphtali. We showed y'all the map. Okay. Then in verse 3, it says there, and when he had heard of Jesus, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews. So again, it's just like what we said in the point he made in verse 8. For I also am a man set under authority, having under me soldiers, and I say unto one, go, and he goeth, and another, come, and he cometh, and to my servant, do this and do that. He was able to move the elders of the Jews. Hey, listen, brothers, I need y'all to go talk to Christ for me. I need my servant healed. Brother sick, okay? I need his brother. So the elders said, yeah, this brother been helping us. He built us a synagogue. He done this, he done that. We're going to go help him. We're going to go to Christ and try to get him some assistance. So this brother was an Israelite. Okay. Verse 10. Let me see. Okay. Verse 10. And they that were sent, returning to the house, found the servant whole that had been sick. So that level of faith that he had was honored. Okay. Now that goes back to Acts 10. The level of faith that the brother had, he just said, Christ, just speak the word. Okay. And I know my servant will be healed. And Christ honored that thing. So that goes back to Acts 10 with Cornelius. Acts 10 and verse 4. And when he had looked on him, he was afraid and said, what is it, Lord? And he said unto him, thy prayers and thy alms are come up for a memorial before God. Okay. So he had faith. His alms, his works, had came up as a memorial before the Lord, and Cornelius also was an honorable man. So let's go back to Luke 7. Luke chapter 7 and verse 11 now. And it came to pass in the day after that he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and much people. Now, I want to show y'all Nain. He went into a city of Nain. It's in the same area, all right? Whereas Zebulun and Naphtali is right in that same area. So remember, we read earlier, Christ went to Capernaum. If you look at the Sea of Galilee there, right at the top left corner, you see Capernaum there. In the red, you see Nain. All right. This is so where Christ traveled. It's, I think they said it's like 20 some miles or whatnot between both of those cities. The term Nain means green pastures or lovely. All right. Green pastures or lovely. All right. So let me get back on screen and I'll read that again. All right. Verse 11. And it came to pass that the day after that he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and much people. Now, I want to read John chapter 1 and verse 11. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. Once again, this is why we have this series, Given the Sense, because a Christian would take this one verse and say that none of the Jews believed on him, okay, and he went to the Gentiles and whatnot, okay? They didn't believe on him. He came unto his own and they didn't receive him. That's not true. Who did not receive Christ? All right, we can go to that in Luke chapter 9. Who did not receive Christ? Let's prove that right now. Luke chapter 9, verse 22. Saying, the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected of the elders and chief priests and scribes and be slain and be raised the third day. So he would be rejected of the elders, the chief priests, the scribes, okay, the chief men, okay, during that time period. That's who rejected him. Not all the Jews. So the own in in John chapter 1, verse 11, precept, write that down, okay. Luke chapter 9, 20, let me look at it again. Luke 9 and 22, right, jot that down there. He was rejected of the scribes, the elders, the chief priests. Now going back to Luke chapter 7, verse 11 again. And it came to pass the day after that he went into the city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and much people. That goes with John chapter 8, verse 31. So Christ had a following. John chapter 8, verse 31. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. If you continue in my word, you're my students indeed. All right. Back to Luke 7 and 12 now. I'll read 11 again. And it came to pass in the day after that he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and much people. Now when he came nigh to the gate of the city, behold, there was a dead man carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow, and much people of the city was with her. So look at that. That right there is a similar thing to what we read about the centurion. He had much support in Capernaum. Like he had the love of the congregation. Okay. This sister right here, she had lost her husband. Now she lost her son, but it says, and much people of the city was with her. So she had support. Get that in Sirach 37 real quick. Sirach 37. And let me see. 12 is what I want. It says, but be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. So when something's going wrong in your life, times are bad, things are low, you had loss of life, loss of job, whatever the case, it says, be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. So this sister, obviously, she was like we just read, she was a commandment keeper. All right. The brothers and sisters in her area in Nain supported her. She had lost her husband, now son. And it said again, and much people of the city was with her. All right. Let's go to Sirach 7. We'll get another one on that. Sirach 7. And again, these are just, we're touching on these things because these are attributes that we have to put on in this truth. A lot of times, sisters in the world, y'all don't like other sisters, y'all don't deal with sisters, and y'all bring that into this truth. I don't like her, I don't want to be around her, I'd rather be around the brothers. Well, you can't be around the brothers. You need to go over there and learn how to be a woman, learn how to be a sister, a wife, or whatever the case. Go over there somewhere, deal with them. But y'all oftentimes didn't deal with each other in the world, and you bring that into the truth. We can't be like that. Brothers, yeah, I don't deal with nobody, I stick to myself. YOLO dolo, bro. No. Okay. We're a nation of people. We have to come back to God's laws, not only applying the commandments individually, but, amongst brothers and sisters. We have to love our neighbor as ourselves. So we have to support one another when things are going wrong. Not only through prayer, but visitation as well. That's what this is going to say right here in Sirach. What I want? Sirach 7 and 34. Watch this. Be not slow to visit the sick, for thou shalt make thee, for that. Be not slow to visit the sick, for that shall make thee to be beloved. You see that? Don't be slow to visit the sick, for that shall make thee to be beloved. You get the love of the congregation, that brother, that particular sister. And others will see you like, oh, that brother always there. He has the time to go and visit. She has the time to go visit, and you're doing that. You're applying those things. Okay. Let's go back. Don't want 35. 36. Oh, you know what? I want 34. Let me get that. Sirach 7, 34 and 35. Watch this. Fail not to be with them that weep, and mourn with them that mourn. Be not slow to visit the sick, for that shall make thee to be beloved. All right. Go back to Luke 7 and verse 12 again. Now when he came nigh to the city, to the gate of the city, behold, there was a dead man carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow, and much people of the city was with her. And when the Lord saw her, he had compassion on her, and said unto her, weep not. And he came and touched the bier, and they that bare him stood still. And he said, young man, I say unto thee, arise. Now, I want to make a point. It said in verse 13, when the Lord saw her, he had compassion on her. All right. He had compassion on her. So let's get Matthew. Matthew chapter 14. These attributes, again, I just want to touch on these little points because we don't want to just read past them. These are things we have to get in our spirits, okay, so we can apply them ourselves. Matthew 14, verse 14. And Jesus went forth and saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion toward them, and he healed their sick. You see that? And when Jesus went forth, he saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion towards them. Let's think about it. Think about it in yourself. When you see your people is there a level of compassion that comes upon you, or do we still have the mindset, I can't stand niggas, I hate niggas? We can't do that. We have to have compassion towards our people. Our people are sick, all right? Spiritually, physically, mentally, we're sick people, okay? We have to have compassion one towards another. So let's go back to Luke chapter 7, verse 14 now. And he came and touched the bier, and they that bare him stood still. And he said, young man, I say unto thee, arise. Now he touched the bier. All right, what is that? I'm gonna show y'all this image real quick. This is an example right here. It's like, you ever, I'm pretty sure many of us have been to a funeral, and this time they put the casket oftentimes on this little device that has wheels on it. And they wheel it in and out of the particular venue, church, whatever the case that they're having the funeral at. All right. That's what this is. All right. But during that time, this was the style that we're reading about. Okay. And look at what it says back in, watch verse 12. It says, now when he came nigh to the gate of the city, behold, there was a dead man carried out. Y'all see that? There was a dead man carried out. They weren't toting him on their shoulders or holding him by his arms and legs. This is what they were carrying him on. I read 14. And he came and touched the bier, and they that bare him stood still. Y'all see that? They that bare him. So this is what they had the brother on. This is what we used back then to transport the bodies of our brothers and sisters that had passed. Now, while we on that, matter of fact, go to Genesis chapter 50. Because I mentioned, I showed the first one that had the wheels on it. That's more like what you would see today. Obviously, to make it, less of a burden, you got wheels on it. You just push it. Okay. But watch this. Genesis 50 and verse 26. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him. And he was put in a coffin in Egypt. So a coffin, obviously, y'all pretty sure y'all know. I don't have any images. I didn't think about trying to get an image for this. Y'all know what a coffin is. It's similar to a casket now, but this was an Egyptian custom here, putting them in coffins. Now, they have, again, what's called caskets today, and they put them on a little cart, for lack of better terms, or the bier with wheels on it, and push you in and out of the particular venue, in and out of the car, the hearse, whatever the case. But that wasn't our custom. We use these devices. Let me put this back up. We use these devices, and your body was just on it. But it wasn't just your dead body within itself, okay? Get Matthew 27 and verse, 59. I see a question. It says, Captain, please explain how we are to deal with our people that are in the truth, but Christian believers. This is my challenge, how to be a servant to others outside of the truth. Well, it goes with what we just read, right? Matthew 14. Real quick, Matthew 14 and 14. It says, let me pull this off the screen since I'm kind of off. I'll go back to that. And Jesus went forth and saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion toward them, and he healed their sick. So how do we deal with them? We have to have a certain level of patience and compassion towards them. Now, that patience does have a somewhat of an expiration date, and I'm going to show y'all that. Titus chapter 3 and 10 says, a man that is an heretic after the first and admonition reject. So now you have patience towards them. You try to deal with them on a certain level. But it says after the first and second time you've tried to deal with them, bring them the truth, and they're rejecting it. Nah, hell no, you in a cult. I ain't doing none of that Bible stuff. The scripture says reject them. Now, if they're not coming at you sideways, like that's a cult, this, that, and the third, and they just don't really understand it yet, they're listening, but they may not get it, continue to have compassion, patience towards them, you know? But if they just absolutely rejecting the Bible, you in a cult, this, that, and the third, to hell with them. All right. Now, so I hope that helps, you know, just to deviate real quick, but I want to put this back on the screen. This particular thing. Where was I going? I was at, let me go back to it again. Luke. So we read about the tomb. Oh, that's what I was pulling this up. I want to show y'all. I was making a point that we didn't just have, like the dead bodies just laying out on this particular device here. All right. And I was going to Matthew 27. Matthew 27. Verse 50, 59 and 60. And when Jesus had taken, and when Joseph, this is Joseph of Arimathea, and when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and laid it in his own tomb when he had hewn out in the rock, and he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed. So the body will be wrapped in linen on this particular device here, and we would carry the brother or the sister out into a tomb. All right. We didn't bury our dead in the ground like we do now. All right. That's why it says here in verse 60, and laid him in his own tomb, which he had hewn out in the rock. Y'all see that? And we can read that again in Genesis chapter 23 about our forefather Abraham. Watch what it says here. Genesis 23 verse 8 says, and he communed with them, saying, if it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and entreat for me to Ephraim the son of Zoar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he have. So I need that particular cave. Why? Which is in the end of his field, for as much money as it is worth, he shall give it for me for a possession of a burying place among you. You see that? So I need to purchase that particular cave over there as a burying place for me. Okay. We didn't bury in the ground. But anyway, let's go back. As I thought about that device buyer, made me think about our customs back during this time. I mean, it's still our custom, but we in captivity in Babylon, and they have particular ways that they do things here. Some of that stuff, sometimes we can't really get around it, but you know, Lord's will we get back to our full culture. Thus said the Lord God. We doing it now. But again, Luke chapter 7 and what was I at? 7 and 14. I got a few minutes. And he came and touched the bier, and they that bare him stood still. And he said, young man, I say unto thee, arise. Now that right there was a similar thing that happened to a young sister in Mark chapter 5. I'm going to show y'all Mark 5 and 41. It says, and he took the damsel by the hand, and he said unto her, Talitha cumi, which is being interpreted, damsel, I say unto thee, arise. Okay, so Talitha cumi, or Talitha cumi, means damsel, arise, or damsel, I say unto thee, arise. So it's similar over here in Luke chapter 7, where he says, young man, I say unto thee, arise. Now, it's not Talitha cumi here, but cumi is there, but Talitha means little girl or young damsel. Talitha, that's what that means. I'm not sure what young man is. It doesn't give us like the Hebrew here. But again, similar thing with this young man and the young sister over there. All right, Luke chapter 7, verse 15. So I'll read 14 again. And he said that he came and touched the bier, and they that bare him stood still. And he said, Young man, I say unto thee, arise. And he that was dead sat up and began to speak, and he delivered him to his mother. And there came a fear on all, and they glorified God, saying that a great prophet is risen among us, and that God hath visited his people. Y'all see that? They're like, yo, this is a great prophet right here. And God has visited his people. That's a heavy statement right there. That's a heavy statement. Let's get that in Isaiah 7. God has visited his people. I hope y'all been watching what the bishops and deacons bringing out, particularly Deacon Malachi touched on this a lot recently. Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Butter and honey shall he eat, that he may know to refuse the evil and choose the good. So what we want is, thou shalt call his name Emmanuel. Now, when it says butter and honey shall he eat, that's not talking about literal butter and honey. You take it in a bowl and you mix it up and you eat it by the spoon. That's not what it's talking about. Go to Psalms real quick. Again, giving the sense. Psalms 119 and where is it at? Psalms 119. All right. Yeah. Psalms 119 and 103. How sweet are thy words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. Y'all see that? How sweet are thy words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. So when it says in Isaiah 7:15, butter and honey shall he eat, that's talking about the commandments. All right, the scriptures. But Emmanuel is what the point is, what we're dealing with. Jump to chapter 8, Isaiah chapter 8, and we're going to read verse 8 and verse 10. Something I want y'all to see in this. And he shall pass through Judah and shall overflow and go over. He shall reach even to the neck, and the stretching out of his wings shall fill the breadth of thy land, O Emmanuel. So, O Emmanuel is going to be interpreted in verse 10 at the bottom. Watch. Take counsel together, and it shall come to naught. Speak the word, and it shall not stand, for God is with us. That's what Emmanuel means. God is with us. Okay? Emmanuel means God is with us, which is why it said in chapter 7, verse 14, therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Okay? Now, go back to Luke 7, and we're going to read verse 16 again. Watch this. And there came a fear on all, and they glorified God, saying that a great prophet is risen among us, and that God has visited his people. All right? That's what? Emmanuel. Okay? How much time I got? I got a few minutes. And this rumor of him went forth throughout all Judea and throughout all the region round about. Yeah, let me get something on that. Luke chapter 5. This dude, you got to think about what happened here. He just spoke the word, or the centurion said, hey, just speak the word. I know my servant to be healed. They got back, his servant was healed. Then he said, hey, young man, arise. They're like, yo, this is a great prophet. God is with us. All right. Luke chapter 5, verse 15. But so much the more went there. Yeah, I want 15, but let me see if I want more. Yeah. I'm gonna read 13. And he put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will be thou clean. I will be thou clean. And immediately the leprosy departed from him. And he charged him to tell no man, but go and show thyself to the priest, and offer for thy cleansing according as Moses commanded, for a testimony unto them. But so much the more went there a fame abroad of him, and great multitudes came together to hear and to be healed by him of their infirmities. So it says a fame, all right? A fame went abroad and great multitudes came to hear, okay? That's why the elders, the chief priests, going back to what we read in John 1, that he came unto his own, but his own received him not. That was talking about the elders, the scribes, the chief priests. Why? They like, yo, all the people, excuse me, all the people are gravitating towards him. They didn't like that. Okay. That's in John chapter 11. John 11, verse 46. But some of them went their way to the Pharisees and told them what things Jesus had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. Okay. That's the example of what they're doing to IUIC today. Okay. Oh, they're a hate group. They're this, they're that. They hate their women. Meanwhile, we have weddings that we post almost on a weekly basis all over the world. Okay. Men and women coming together, unifying, one mind, one spirit under Christ, getting married, having children, creating families, building a nation, going out doing youth violence, conflict resolution seminars, saving Sarah's daughters. Okay. Prison ministries, all these different things we're doing, but they can't leave us alone. Why? Because of this. If we let him thus alone, so if we leave IUIC alone and just let them do what they're doing, it says, all men will believe on them, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. That's the damn urban apologists today. Apologetics. Back to Luke. I got to get ready to close it out. Back to Luke. I may stop there. I read 17 again. And this rumor of him went forth throughout all Judea and throughout all the region round about. And the disciples of John showed him all these things. Yeah, I'm gonna stop, because if I keep going, I'm gonna end up going into a lot of other precepts, and I don't have time. Otherwise, I'm gonna go over like 15 to 20 minutes, and unfortunately, I can't do that. I want to stay here with y'all, but I can't. So, Lord willing, y'all got something out of the lesson. All right, this has been Given the Sense from A to Z. I'm your host today, Captain Josiah, out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And again, help us support this truth. All right, scan the QR code. All right, donate. Help us do this work. All right, Israel. With that, I say shalom. And the Feast of Nicanor is upon us right now. Got the Feast of Purim coming in tonight. It's a 2-day feast, today and tomorrow. So y'all enjoy that, okay? Shalom.
Yeah. Bless his head. Bless his head. Bless his head. Yeah. See, I've been going through some things you don't know. Been holding too long, I can't hold it no more. The old man wants to kill me, but he don't know that I've been dying daily, so he gon' fall. Even if I do far. I don't stay too long. I may go fast to pray and add on one thing. 2 chapters every day, Genesis to Revelation, gonna read, hold your pace. I can say things written in the past was for the day. Oh, when I be all up in them scripture, no.